Hey there, this is Mike from Mike Buys Houses. We had a few homeowners reach out to us considering bankruptcy, and just wanted to have a conversation with us about what they should consider as they move forward. And the first thing we told them is we're not lawyers, so we can't give any legal advice or anything like that, but we can just speak based on the experiences that we've had. So based on that introduction, basically. So this specific situation, they were considering Chapter 7 and then looking as to why that may be denied as they were considering bankruptcy. So really, the thing that we told them is that the main criteria typically for bankruptcy to be accepted is that the debtor's household income must be lower than what they would consider a necessary or reasonable household expenses on a monthly basis. When you include that debt for whatever the said bankruptcy would be about. So other than that, we see the top 5 reasons typically that Chapter 7 will be denied that we've seen is that the debtor has failed to attend a credit counseling, or number 2, that the income and expenses and debt situation of the applicant would basically allow them to file Chapter 13. Sometimes we've had that brought to our attention. Any attempt at fraud during the process will definitely be grounds for denial. If there was a Chapter 7 bankruptcy discharge of debt within the last 8 years, or if there was a discharge under Chapter 13 within the last 6 years. Those are the situations that we've heard of the most often. As far as Chapter 13 being denied, there's been more situations that we've at least heard of. Again, none of this is legal advice, but just reasons that we've heard of denial in the past, and just something to consider as you move forward in the process. For Chapter 13, if it's too much debt, basically the goal in Chapter 13 is to keep the property, but if it will just be too much of a stressor as far as debt, or if it just is over a certain amount, then Chapter 13 will be denied. So basically, if there's too much debt as far as monthly payments, or if it's just overall too large of an amount, then Chapter 13 would be denied. The secured debt limit is larger than the unsecured debt as far as loans go and bankruptcy for Chapter 13, but it could change, based on the time that you're watching this. So just really look up and talk to a bankruptcy attorney on what that limit is at the time. As far as income, if there's not enough income for the payments in the repayment plan, then Chapter 13 would be denied. When they consider income, they're going to take things into account like wages, pension payments, Social Security, disability and workers' comp, child support, stuff like that, royalties, rents. Those are all things that will get considered as income. Another reason that we've seen for denial would be that the documentation wasn't all filled out correctly, and you're going to have to be able to prove that you're employed, that the debt is below the limits that we talked about earlier, that you can afford the repayment plan like we talked about earlier, that you filed taxes. As of this recording, it's, I think, the last 4 years you have to have filled them out, and you're going to need to provide specific documentations that they request. They also may request things like pay stubs, bank statements, tax returns, that kind of stuff. So if you aren't able to provide any of that, then that could be a reason for failure. Other reasons that we see: not attending meetings, like we said in Chapter 7, or meeting with the creditors, where when you go there, you're going to have to just answer questions about your finances by the trustee of the bankruptcy, basically. Any failure to pay any of the court fees and filings, that'll cause a failure. Any fraud that we talked about, and missing any payments in the repayment plan as structured. Typically, we've seen anywhere from 3 to 5 years usually, and you may even have to start making those payments prior to the actual acceptance of the confirmation of the bankruptcy. So those are some of the reasons that we've seen that bankruptcy got denied and that we talked about with this homeowner. So we just want to share that with you guys. If you are thinking of selling a property, considering bankruptcy, maybe reach out to us, see if we're able to help at least point you in the right direction. Maybe we would be able to work together and come to an agreement and buy your property, but at the worst we'll be able to help point you in the right direction. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to give us a call, 267-984-4765, or visit us on MikeBuysHousesPA.com. We look forward to helping you.